Well, I didn't catch it in time, but we've been driving for 229 minutes today, so we're gonna get out, finish filling up the tank. I did verify that this thing works. So in this position is exhaust brake because it shuts off the cruise control, and then this position is cruise control works and exhaust brake is off. So that's the whole point of that switch. You can see there's 4 wires coming in. So that's my temporary placement until I decide to move my lockup switch, which I have used a couple of times today. So here's where we're at. Running this big, giant fifth wheel. Just kidding, it's only a 35 footer, so it's actually pretty small compared to what I'm used to running on fifth wheels. But been running that VGT swap on Bertha, and unfortunately, as we were saying in the last video, the it's not working, right? So either the wiring or the device is bad, and it's blowing soot everywhere. Like, this thing is smoky as shit. Now, I will say, it still spools way better than the factory turbo did, but there's definitely room for improvement. So if it runs as good as it does now, it just has a little bit of smoky without the VGT function working. It's staying on the big side, so it's smoking a little bit more than it should. But either we have a problem with this harness, because anytime I plug this harness in, it gets a check engine light, or we have a problem with the device itself. But anytime I plug this in, it gives me it blows a check engine light. So other than that, I mean, the truck's been doing good. We just need to figure out that issue. So, and we did fix that coolant leak down there. All right, a little bit of a nuisance. I saw some exhaust leak, and that nut back there fell off. So tighten everything back up. We're definitely going to be replacing the stock bolts with actual studs, because these are genuinely too long for this manifold. That one there kind of backed out a little bit, and that one there is, I can't put it in. So we're going to order the studs and do that. So we're getting fuel for 311. It's 329 down there. So you guys can bet your ass I am filling this whole tank. Now, I was saying in the last video about the fifth, I was saying something about the fifth wheels and the weight distribution and shit. And on a fifth wheel, it's so much better for the truck. Better distribution, less weight on the truck itself, on the tongue, I should say. Less weight on the drives. So, gonna fill it up. Fill it up. And unfortunately, you can't pull ahead here, unless you're that guy, but you can't pull ahead here because there's no room. You'd block everybody. So I'm gonna go in and piss quick and hit the road. We're gonna look for some food. Probably put in about 110 gallons if I can fit it. Well, guys, we just broke the 1,000 mile mark, so we got 996 miles to go. You can see, I mean, we've been climbing grades. I don't know if it's just that this fifth wheel's light or what, but the truck doesn't care that it's back there. Now, don't get me wrong, it is a little smoky. If I really want to get on it, I don't know if you guys will be able to see that, but it's definitely smoky. But the EGTs never get above 1,200 degrees. And I mean, I can climb grades with this thing at 75 mile an hour if I want to. Like, I am just blowing past people on the hills. So, I mean, for the losses that we've got, I think we're still in the positive. You know what I mean? So I got the fleece drain on order and the new manifold studs. We're gonna do away with the manifold bolts and just go aftermarket. As much as I didn't want to, you can't fit the factory bolts on this manifold. So when we get back, we will have some additions to make to this kit. So I think once we work out all these little details, it's gonna be worth it. We have no whistle at all right now. It is straight, like, open, just bleh, like the typical Cummins, but I cannot wait to have my... Yeah, I can definitely tell you guys now, I don't think that VGT controller's doing anything. That's definitely straight open. You guys hear it? There's a building here. Let's see if we can do it next to the building. knowing that it is not doing anything and it's just in the open position in general, oh my God, I can't wait until we actually get the correct one on there. And it, oh my God, spool up is gonna be insane. Alright guys, so we are making moves here. Check and see, that didn't look like it. I was always curious on the clearance of that, but it looks like it's all right. So we're moving. I'm just filling the tank now. We're down to a quarter tank. Camper's moving good. It's got that aftermarket suspension, I guess, upgraded, I noticed. I just noticed this. Yeah, apparently that's an upgrade. We're moving, we're doing all right. Truck's doing great. Nothing out of the ordinary. Make sure we didn't hit any bridges. Let's get up here, check everything out. Nope, everything looks all right. Do that one-handed. Do a quick little trip here, but yeah, everything looks good, other than I'm probably gonna go and take and wash this one before we drop off, because we are just smoking. Like you can see, we are smoking like fucking crazy with that VGT controller not doing anything. So it's basically the veins in the turbo are just open permanently. So we're doing all right. I'm noticing that these tires have a shitload of tread in the middle, but they're wearing on the outside, so we're probably gonna bump these tires up to about 80 PSI. I usually run them at about 72, and with how cold it's been, I've been running them at 62. So we're gonna do that as soon as I can find a place to fill them up. But dude, these tires have 60,000 miles on them, and I shit you not, like the tread is almost my entire nail. So we're getting our miles out of the tires, but the outsides are wearing. So if we got any tire experts in the comments, let me know what y'all's opinions are. But we're gonna be bumping up to 35s here very soon. I don't want to, but if you look at these tire ratings on here, they are, I think they were 2,800 pounds, but if I go to a 35, it brings me up to 3,200 pounds, which takes me from 5,200 times 2, which is 10,400. It takes me up to 12,600, because 12,800, I believe, if I did my math correct. So that's 6,400 pounds per axle. So we're gonna do that just for the sake of the extra tire rating, because Bertha's kind of heavy, but man, there's so much meat left on these tires. I need to just go get some air in them. Obviously on the cold side, I'm gonna air them up when it's cold in the morning. We're moving, everything's been good. I went over here and redid this corner here. So now this actually stays here, and same thing with my wood block. But if you guys understand how fifth wheels work, turn that off. Anything under and in here will blow everywhere. If you are not prepared to have wind go down in here, like if you leave clothes or anything, ask Josh. Like the cooler lid, if you don't have that latched, it will rip everything off and just throw it. So keep that in mind when you guys are hauling fifth wheels. Anything in the bed you care about, make sure it is strapped down or heavy enough that it's not gonna go anywhere. So while we're out here, I wanna do a test, all right? Because right here, I plugged the harness in and I unplugged that, and I'm curious because I know that's not doing anything. So let's see. It looks like I need this to turn on. I want to see, Hazel, get, if it still throws the check engine light. Obviously I need to get it started first. Guys, let me know what you think this is. Let me know what you think that is. Oh, look at that. We have no check engine light. Let's see if the temp is reading what it's supposed to. And then we'll go plug this in. I think I got a defective module. He thinks it was the harness, but I'm like, you know what? Let's test it and see. Because that would make me happy, because I do not want to redo this harness. I hate doing harnesses. Like, it's already where it needs to be. Let's see. Oh, look at that. It reads correctly. Now I'm going to go plug this in. Let's see if we get a check engine light the second I plug it in. Device is plugged in. coolant temp immediately changes. 138. Let's go unplug it. Unplugged. Now let's go check the coolant temp again. Oh, look at that. We got a bad device. I knew that thing wasn't working. I'm gonna call them as soon as I can and let them know that I diagnosed it. I had to know, because the guy thought it was the harness, which is fair, makes sense. But I don't want to guess. So somewhere along the lines, I need to go and get a new module. Look at that. Everything works now. But yeah, so we got a defective module. All right, so I pulled it apart. Nothing looks out of the ordinary, but that makes me happy that it's not the harness. I don't want to redo the harness. I would rather redo this than pull that entire harness back out of the engine bay. So we're gonna eat. I got Subway. They got rid of the Buffalo, so I'm gonna try something new. I'm gonna take her potty quick. But yeah, we are running without the module. All right, guys, it is another day. Stay. Watch this. See? Stay. Go ahead. Got her trained. So it's another day. Unfortunately, the turbo oil drain leaks enough oil that it's not like it's leaking a shitload, but it's leaking enough that I'm probably losing a quart every, I don't know, 10 hours or so. So we're gonna head to Walmart, go get some water. I'm gonna grab 2 more things of coolant. I always like to keep coolant on me, and some more mobile Delvac. So we're gonna do that. And then already brushed the teeth. Coolant's good, but parked here at the Loves last night. We went to Denny's last night and Subway last night because I wanted to try their new sauce. So they got rid of the buffalo sauce and they replaced it with some other like spicy random, I don't even know. But I tried it and it went right through me. So we're not gonna be doing that anymore, but I did go to Denny's. And yeah, I haven't been to a Denny's in years, so I was like, fuck it, I want some pancakes, the lumberjack slam. But let's head to Walmart. I do take her into Walmart. I feed her every morning. 3 times a day she gets fed, because if I feed her twice a day, she's been losing weight. So we're trying to feed her 3 times a day. She's doing good after the surgery, because a lot of you guys have been asking for updates. Other than these little tiny hiccups, none of these hiccups have cost me any time. Like, I am still well ahead of schedule. I have 10 hours to go until drop off, and it's Sunday now. And it's like, we can't drop off today at all. So I'm going to be there today, but I can't drop until tomorrow. So we're still well ahead of schedule. We got a heater core to do tomorrow, and some other things. So maybe we'll film all that. But ever since I showed you guys the mobile heater core, people have been wanting me to do more and more. All right, so I was tired of the oil leak, so I grabbed a pair of ice grips, and I didn't squeeze it around it, but I took them and just kind of like set it here against the tapered part and just hit it in with a hammer, and it looks like it went in a lot farther, so we'll check it and watch it. We might not need to buy a new oil drain, because I'll be honest, I suck at putting these things in the blocks. I've never had a customer one leak, but mine always leak. Now, secondly, the nuts keep backing off and getting loose. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get them as tight as I possibly can. On the turbo, you can see we have a little bit of an exhaust leak. So for some reason, this thing still spools okay with an exhaust leak. So I'm gonna try to get that situated. We got the coolant leak taken care of. We don't have any coolant leaks here. So what I'm gonna do is, if I get down here, I'm gonna try to find a company that sells them locally. But I'm gonna pull this whole manifold back off and replace the bolts with studs, because you can see right there, and that back stud, I can't even get a factory one in there. So you have to use aftermarket bolts on these. I didn't know that initially, so that's my bad. But I mean, for what it is, it's not a big deal. So I'm gonna get these bolts tight as much as possible. I got the front ones with the double wrench method. The back nut completely fell off, that's gone. And I just need to get that back nut back there. So we're not gonna get rid of the exhaust leak, but we're gonna make it a lot, you know what I mean? It's gonna be a lot less than what it actually is. Let's get that wrench back there, get this tightened up, and then we're good to go. I'm looking for a Walmart, and then we're gonna top the oil off, and then I'll watch this and see if we don't have any leaks. And if I can verify that we don't have any leaks, I'm gonna take this whole setup to the car wash today, clean the trailer off, degrease everything, and we will go from there. So other than that, I mean, we've been doing pretty good. So I mean, you can see from the coolant leak before. I know the water pump leaks a smidge. I just put this on about 70,000 miles ago, and I get about 60 or 70,000 miles out of them. But you can see on the ground, like there's nothing on the ground coolant wise. It's just every now and again it'll do that. So yep, let's get that back nut and we'll go from there. All right, so I put that in, snapped the extension piece. By the way, this is not a cheap one. This is a Mac. So you can get that back bolt back there. What I did was I just took the bolt off of right there for the coolant thing, because it's the same nut. I had a bunch of extras. So we'll put it back there. And now we're gonna check the tightness with a wrench up top. But you can get that back bolt directly straight up. So that's what I did. So now we'll have a nut back there. Now we just got to get the back one tight, and then we should actually have no leaks if this gasket didn't blow out. All right, so when we do the studs, that little bracket piece is going to get cut off anyway, so I'm not worried about it. But you guys can see we got all 4 nuts tight. That back one's tight. I did end up, when this broke, my hand went and filled the glove up with blood, but it's all right. Tightened those up. And we should be good now. Before I put this, before I put this liner back in, I need to put the feed on. Oh man, almost forgot about the feed. That could have been bad. Imagine firing that up with no oil feed. For the record, all these tools are still accessible with a fifth wheel. Here we go. Main reason I stopped, I'm like, I could keep driving it, but I'm like, I just don't want to hear the clicking. The clicking pisses me off, like to no end. So we got that fixed. You guys can see the module is not plugged in. It has not been plugged in. We are running open, and you can see the coolant temp sensor is plugged in. So we do not have a problem with the wire harness, just a problem with the module. Now what we're gonna do is this here, which I shouldn't have gone under the harness there, but I did for some reason. When we make these intake horns, I'm gonna make it that it mounts the module to the top, and then this is gonna get moved. So that way everything can just work out. But we should be good now. We should have no more leaks. I'm still probably gonna order the fleece version, because if you guys can see down in here, even though we fixed the leak, I don't like how skinny that is, that little port down there. So we'll see if it still continues to leak. But I mean, I got it seated a lot more than what it was. Oh yeah, you can see that moves way too freely. I'm gonna try to seat that a little bit more. All right, we'll see how that works. I got it seated all the way, and I even pried on here to bring it down and bend it down a little bit more. But anytime I install new ones of these, I'm still learning these. These things are an absolute pain in the ass. I'm gonna start bolting them to the turbo first and then routing them in. What I was doing is I'd pop it in here thinking that I was doing myself a favor, and I'm not. Those bolts up there are an absolute pain in the ass. This couldn't have worked out any better, to be honest. So we got that all fixed. And we're gonna keep chugging along, making sure there's no leaks. If there's no leaks, we clean that trailer. It's a nice little area here. Fucking finger got busted. She's gotta go potty, and then yeah, we got another hour till Walmart, so we're gonna pick up 2 gallons of coolant and a gallon of oil just to have extras on us. I have the ultimate anti-theft. Oh, never mind, it actually started on the first fucking crank. That's a rarity. Let's make sure we have no leaks. The fuck was that? All right, should be good. Let's get out of here. All right, guys, so we have no ticking. No ticking. We got our power back. I'm just letting it run slow for now to get it warmed back up. Oh, look, we're at 195 already. So AC is definitely on. It's 60 degrees out. I'm fucking sweating. All right, we're at Walmart, finally. We're gonna let them EGTs calm down because 570 is crazy, but I'm gonna get out and check, make sure we don't have any leaks. Hopefully we don't, but get everything we need, get some food, and then we are set to make the last 6.5 hours. I was wrong this morning. I said we had 10 hours to go. We actually had 8.5, less than 8.5. So yeah, because now we have 6.5 hours to go. So we should be able to make that drive today. There's no clicking, so luckily we didn't blow out the gasket, just needed to tighten some bolts up, and we are good. No more coolant leaks, other than the water pump is like a very low smidge, but it's not enough to change anything. But yeah, we're gonna wait until this hits about 400. There we go. But yeah, we've been running the AC for the last, I don't know, ever since we left the rest area. So yeah, as for that oil drain, it actually leaks worse now. At the block. She's shitting. If it's not one thing, it's another. I'm definitely gonna be getting the fleece oil drain because I don't know if it's a block problem or what, but it's seated and you can see the oil mess is even worse than it was. It's the only oil leak on the whole fucking truck. Yeah, look at that. It's seated in the block. And it's still leaking. What a load of bullshit. So, I just checked the oil, and I put more back in it. And we didn't lose nearly as much as, like, that looks bad, right? It looks bad. Nobody's going to deny that. But we didn't lose near as much as I thought I would. And I was thinking putting a new oil drain in it would have taken care of the problem. And the new oil drain is also a problem as well. So we have a problem somewhere, and I don't think it's related to the oil drain. I think that we have a problem inside, because I cleaned that block out before I put that new one in. So I think the fleece kit is going to be honestly what we need, because you pound it in, it bottoms out, and I think that's what's going to take care of everything. Unfortunately, I can't do that till I get back. So I don't know what we're going to do, but it's leaking oil, but it's not as bad as I would have thought it would be.